Lower the mic level.
Oh, I can sit back too.
No, that's fine.
I felt like I had to be over here, but
You yelling at the dog. It's like the sound waves turned into like a hurricane. Not a hurricane, an earthquake reading.
Like a hurricane. Neil Young, 1972. Kidding, I don't know the year, but it is Neil Young.
It was Neil Young.
You don't have to look at your notes to check that.
No. Just in case I think of something and I don't want to interrupt you, I can write things down on this notepad.
Oh, that's gonna make me nervous.
I won't do it then.
No, I'm kidding. Do it.
I don't have a pen.
But if I start getting nervous, stop.
Okay.
Are you all ready to join me today in our trip to outer space?
Come along quietly or not.
I will talk to you of art. For there is nothing else. Some artists make a hook. Yes. Let you bite upon it.
And now, without further ado...
Hello, folks. This is Albert Shivers. This is yet another episode of Planet Shivers podcast. It's early in the morning. Louis Armstrong's dead. Now I feel too good myself. Let's do a podcast, all right? First of all, let's get into this. Got a lot of new art coming. My jazz art show has been now moved to August. We're still trying to figure out a date. But it's going to be awesome. There's going to be tons of my artwork along with a soundtrack to the show that goes along with the art that's there. So that's going to be really cool. Also, just want to bring this up, point of conversation. Yesterday I came to find that a lot of NBC sitcoms have been yanked from all sorts of streaming channels, not necessarily the whole sitcom, but several episodes. About 6 episodes of 30 Rock, this is how I noticed it, were yanked from Amazon Prime and Hulu for things in them that upset people. I get it, but I don't necessarily agree. You can't be erasing history. So luckily, all these years of hoarding DVDs has finally paid off because, they can't take those away. All right? I'm right. On this episode of Planet Shivers, it's been such a long time coming, but finally, Gabby is on. My sister, her and I are thick as thieves, and I think that this podcast really kind of brought us back to a time when we were cracking each other up constantly. I think it'll be a lot of fun to listen to, and I hope you enjoy it. Before we get to that, it's shout out time. Last week, if you listened to last week's episode, I called out the same person I'm gonna do this week, Renee D Photography. I know Renee personally, and she takes great pictures. She does weddings, newborns, maternity, headshots, families, documentary pictures, couples, commercial, children, birth stories, which is hard to find people to do that, and as well as boudoir photos. If you're feeling sexy, want something for the husband, surprise him on the 4th of July, tape some fireworks to your body or something, stick a bottle rocket in your bra, I don't know, do something. If you're interested, if you want some photography done, you could find Renee at reneedphotography.com, or you could follow her on Instagram at Renee D Photography. And on those sites, on the website, on the Instagram, you'll be able to see some examples of just how good her pictures are. She uses very minimal photoshopping, very minimal effects. She deals with natural light and natural photographs, and she captures the way you look in the best way possible without all the mishigas and all the technology. She's not gonna, rather than, smoothing out a blemish or, getting rid of a snaggletooth, she leaves it. She finds the beauty in it and photographs it. Also, sometimes, whether it's with your family or just by yourself, being in front of a camera can make you very nervous. Renee's temperament is that she's kind, she's friendly, she's warm. She'll melt that nervousness right away she's a perfect photographer in that sense. And her pictures are great. So one more time, that's ReneeDPhotography.com, and also Renee D Photography on Instagram. This morning I woke up listening to a nice Red Fox record. I've been on a kick of listening to comedy first thing in the morning, as opposed to getting hit with bad news, which seems to be everywhere, beating us over the head like a brick. I get up in the morning, I have my little portable suitcase turntable. I go and pick out a record. First when I started, it was a few Richard Pryor records. Then I moved on to Carlin. This morning it was Red Fox. Tomorrow I think I'll listen to some Dolomite, a different guy every day, and some women too. But Red Fox was a volcano of jokes. He never ran out of jokes, and you listen to him, there's the image in our heads of Fred Sanford and Sanford and Son, but that was in the 70s. Red Fox has been doing comedy decades and decades before that. Broke out on the Chitlin circuit in the 40s. Did comedy right alongside jazz greats, rhythm and blues greats, Louis Jordan, Jump Blues, all those guys. And at the time, in his time, he was the king. During those days, you had Red Fox and Dick Gregory. There were other black comedians, but Fox and Gregory were the first ones to really get over that hump and reach out to other races of an audience in their own way. Dick Gregory more politically with his comedy, and Red Fox just raw, unbridled jokes and comedy. And without Red Fox, there is no Carlin, there's no Pryor, there's no Eddie Murphy, all these guys. Fox was the pioneer. He was right there. And his records are great. Go look them up. There's tons of them on YouTube. Put them on. Turn off the news. Get off of Facebook. I'm off, and I've never been happier. Get off of Facebook and listen to some comedy. It doesn't have to be Red Fox. Red Fox is great. But go pick your favorite comedian and just listen to him. Sit there and laugh. That's all I have to say about that. Let's get to this conversation with Gabby. Again, I hope you enjoy it. It was amazing to finally sit across from her and do this. Her and I have been wanting to get together on this podcast for a while. We couldn't make it happen. But it happened. Another silver lining of this BS. But it happened, and it was great. I loved it. I love her. Hope you enjoy it.
They got it for me.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't buy this with my 6th grade money.
But you probably picked the brand, though.
No, I think I picked exactly the one I wanted. And they just went and got it. Just ran out and got it. Don't put that in there. It makes me sound spoiled, Spoiled out.
I hate... You know what I hate?
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're recording. So, whenever I meet anybody new, and... like this happened with Beep.
Insert beep here.
Yeah. It happened with her where we talk about when we were kids, and my being a kid compared to her being a kid would be like Richie Rich talking to Oliver Twist. And she asked me to see the home movies, because I told her I have a ton of home movies of me as a kid. Right?
Showing interest.
So... we're watching the home, and at first I'm a baby. I get older as the movie goes.
Yeah, right, good. Not Benjamin Button.
No. First I'm a baby. And I'm getting older, and I'm about, 4. I'm walking,
You're talking?
I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm doing the whole thing. And it's Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And it's just me, my mom, and Dad. It's just 3 of us. But there's a bunch of presents.
Yeah.
And this girl grew up. She got a pack of toothpicks for.
That sucks.
And I'm watching this, and she's not feeling any way about it, but I am.
Feels.
I'm like, look at this, this is because I'm opening presents and I'm jumping around.
You're yelling.
And I got a mom and a dad in the same room, you know?
Right, yeah.
It's terrible. But, yeah. I don't know what that has to do with it. Oh, you said spoiled before. That's what brought that up.
Yeah.
Hello, folks. This is another episode of Planet Shivers. I'm Albert Shivers. And today, long awaited, I'm sitting here with my beautiful sister and amazing musician.
Well, thank you so much, Albert. Happy to be here.
Good. No, I'm glad we finally got this, and it's fun that we're doing it now.
Yeah, I think it's been like a year that you've been asking me.
It's been a year, but it's just not worked out. That's all.
It's just timing. And
It
now the
is
timing
just-
is perfect because you know
now-
why?
Yeah.
Because of the
'Cause
pandemic.
What are we doing?
We had to get a pandemic to do this.
The whole world needed to stop spinning on its axis.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here we are. Here we are. And we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to cover.
We got a lot to cover.
And it's going to be good. So, you had some topics in mind. So
Well, my first question for you, Albert. We can, you can ask me the same question because it's going to be probably a conversation,
Yeah.
two-sided. What's the story of the first time you smoked marijuana? So I feel like this is a good, everyone has a story.
Yeah.
It's something.
Well,
At least a
mine-
little anecdote. Sorry, go ahead.
No, mine was at a further concert.
Okay.
And
Makes sense.
You know what's crazy?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go back to that. But what's crazy, and this doesn't usually happen this way,
Mm-hmm.
but through these further buddies, all my deadhead friends, I had LSD before anything else.
Oh my god.
Like I just dove into the pool
Oh, head first.
head first,
Into that, yeah.
and I got ripped off for it too. I
Really?
overpaid.
By how much? Tell me how much you paid.
I don't remember how much I paid,
But you just know.
but
it
I
was
remembered I paid per centimeter.
Okay, I've never taken.
Because it was
drop that.
tabs. It was like strips,
Okay.
and it was you paid a certain amount per centimeter
Wow.
through somebody that my deadhead friend knew. Somebody through somebody else,
Oh wow! And didn't give you a deal.
and well, they said okay, it's this much, and I said okay, I want this many centimeters, and when I got home, that New York in me measured it. And I went back today. The next time I hung out, I just said his name.
Just
Doesn't
leave
matter.
it out.
Yeah. I went back to him. The next time I hung out with him, we were jamming. I said to him, I said, I don't care. Mm-hmm. I said to him, like I was in the mob. I said to him, I just want you to know. I just want you to know that your friend ripped me off.
Just so you know who you're dealing with.
Yeah. That's
Just gotta
really,
let you know.
And that's what I meant. Just so you know about your friend.
Yeah.
I wanted this much. He told me it was this much, and it was significantly less.
Did you take any in between the time he told you what
No.
it was and you?
No. And then he said to me, he goes, "Oh, you want me to get your money back?" I was like,
It's not about that. Hey, it's not about
"That's
that.
what I said." I said, "It's not it.
Ain't about the money.
It's just, I want you to know that I know, so you know what's going on."
Right.
But then I ended up, I did do it, and didn't care for it, but that's besides the point. It was bad. The mannequin started moving. It
In
was
your own
weird.
room, you did it alone?
No, this was
I'm assuming it was your room because it was mannequins.
Yeah.
You could have been in a
No,
H&M.
no. Yeah, all the mannequins, their faces were making expressions,
Yeah, that's the worst thing you could
and
have
I
done.
was like, "That's." I had to tell myself like, "That's not happening." You think it is, but it's not. Don't go down that road.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it was through those guys at a further show. Mm-hmm. And it didn't really have any effect on me for two reasons. And it put my mind in this mindset of what doesn't affect, it just doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people it
Well,
doesn't
those
affect.
people, yeah.
But it was cheap, dirty hippie weed, first of all. That, that some girl like hidden her dreadlock
Oh
for
my
90
God.
miles
Yeah.
coming from Idaho. And the second thing was I was driving that night too. Mm-hmm. So and they had way more than me, and they were drinking.
Right. Crossfading.
So I was worried about driving.
Yeah.
So I think I was just so preoccupied that it didn't have a chance. And that happened a few times over a period with those kids.
Wow.
Like, I never had any effect whenever I was with them. You'd think at the Dent shows and further shows that this would be the best stuff, but it wasn't. It was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
From here all the way to San Francisco, sitting under a stupid tree named Janice in Golden Gate Park, and even that, because then I was just pissed off. So nothing could have affected me that day because I was just pissed because I wasn't having a good time.
Yeah.
Weed didn't go anywhere.
It's interesting. I want to point this out. I didn't want to interrupt you. Dirty hippie weed, right?
Yeah.
Now, I've met my fair share of hippies in my short life so far. And I'm probably due to
Not
meet
the
more.
same kind of hippie.
Wait, but I've met... What do you mean not the same kind of hippies? This is what I... Wait. Let me just get this thought out. I feel like either hippies have two kinds of weed. It's either dirty, shitty bullshit.
Right.
And there's those hippies. And then there's the hippies that have, like what you said, like... But it's either they have really, really good weed or they have not the good weed. I hung out with the ones that had the really good weed, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Why? What do you mean? How do you know what kind of hippies I hang out with?
Because the people who were with us on these further shows
We're really like...
they were coming in from the mountains. They had been following the band.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a person who got on the bus at the first stop and is going to ride it to the end, and you just keep getting on and getting off during the trip. But this guy's been on the whole time. So these people have just been on the road, and they're getting what they can get. Mm-hmm. And when you're on the road, getting what you can get, unless you run into somebody, the way they smoke, even if it was good, it ran out quick. Mm-hmm. So you ended up with just, somebody grew in the upside down hat, in the basement. So it was never good.
Yeah.
And apparently the psychedelics were good at those shows.
Yeah.
But I never, only
imagine.
that one time.
Yeah.
And
You didn't even take it out of the show.
no, it was liquid, and I found out it was I forget, it was like MC5 or something. It was some like code. That what it was. It wasn't even necessarily acid or anything. It was some weird drug that was giving other people that night seizures, who had more than I did. Somebody in our group had a seizure.
If you have one of those, you have to go to the hospital, or are you fine?
He didn't go to the hospital. They just crowded around him. They gave him
They
some
should give him
dumpster
some
bread.
some dumpster bread. Did they stick a wallet in his mouth?
I don't know what I was with him.
I don't know.
Because I got dosed and I went off on my own. I didn't want to be around nobody.
But you didn't take them at the
I
show.
took less.
Oh, you took some at the show.
No, this
You
is the
said
time I got
mannequins.
dosed.
Oh, that time. I remember that story, yeah.
There was somebody in our group had the same stuff and had a seizure from it. I only had a little bit because I thought this girl was offering me a bottle of water.
That's evil. Those people deserve to go to hell.
I
That's a
forgive-
circle of hell for those
I
people.
forgive only because two reasons, and I'm gonna be honest with you because you're my sister. I forgive her for two reasons. Number one, I don't know if she realized that I didn't know.
Yeah. She probably maybe didn't.
She probably thought he knows what I'm doing, and it's fine. So and the second reason was she was cute. I forgive her for that reason too, but I feel like she thought that I knew. And I was just, because we're in this Bill Graham theater, indoor, in San Francisco. It's January. These were New Year's Eve shows.
Yeah.
But it was hot. It's hot in the theater. A bunch of people, shoulder to shoulder. And I was just dying. I was thirsty. So
It was making you thirsty.
she said to me, "You want a drink?" And she didn't wink or nothing or give me an elbow.
You're required to give a wink when you're giving someone that kind of
Yeah,
drink.
right.
If you're going to give them a drink, give them a wink.
Something.
That's what I'm saying.
So she didn't say nothing. She said, "You want a drink?" And I was like, yes. Oh, my God. And the only thing that stopped me from drinking more was I didn't want to drink this girl's water.
Yeah, good.
So, but I did. You know, like we're looking at this bottle here.
Yeah.
It was full when she handed it to me. And I probably drank up to there. Mm-hmm. And that sent me to the moon.
Didn't taste like water? Did it taste like water?
It did. It had no taste. Like it tasted like water would taste. And next thing I know, there's 3 Bob Weirs on stage. That's not right.
Wait a minute.
And he trailed. That was the weird part. Mm-hmm. Is like he's strumming his guitar and his hands going like.
Oh no. That's a recipe.
I add the soundtrack, the sound effect because no one can see me doing it. But yeah, so what about you?
My story is just embarrassing. I feel like your story is normal.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed about my age. So,
okay. Don't tell it yet.
Okay.
Because I feel like I have another perspective to this story.
Of my story
that
or
you
yours?
don't know.
Of my story.
Of your story.
Oh, shit.
If it's the same story I think of.
Oh, no.
If you're going to tell me this story, I have another perspective to it.
All right, okay. Is this muted? Because it's red. That means it's fine,
It's
right?
blinking if it's muted. If
Okay,
it was
it's
muted,
not muted. You wouldn't see it. Anyway.
I wouldn't have any sound waves.
So I was in the 8th...
Now I'm nervous.
Oh, no. I just wanted to make sure. I forgot how this mic worked.
Yeah.
We're recording on a Blue Yeti. Brought to you by...
I Blue Yeti. And White Claw.
Speaking of White Claw, anyway, so I was in the 8th grade. And I really wanted to smoke. And there was this guy who I can't say his name probably.
Right.
And I knew that he could get me some.
Was he an 8th grader also?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he could get me some. I don't even know if I knew what I was doing. So he got me some. And it could have been oregano. Or
Right.
it could have just been shit.
Right.
And I tried to roll it. Are you ready? I didn't have a pipe. I didn't have a bong.
Right.
I didn't know how to make them either.
Right.
Do you know what I rolled it in? A big old thick piece of computer paper. Like an idiot. And I was
Right.
like, this doesn't feel good at all.
Right.
And I could have smoked oregano. I don't know. Didn't feel anything,
So
right?
where were you?
I was in the computer room. Where the computer paper was.
Right.
Probably tried to roll it on that. Tried to like hot dog fold it around the weed.
Right.
And then tried to inhale computer paper. You know, thick computer, like
Yeah.
like a good stack.
Right. There's like staples.
Yeah, Staples premium paper.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you smoked it though, were you in the computer room or were you in
Probably.
your bedroom?
I don't remember, honestly.
I mean, all right. Maybe I jar your memory a little bit.
Here I go.
Did you? When was it? Was this the time you set up one of Dad's little black computer fans
No.
in your window?
No. That was just another time. That
Okay.
was I think I was a junior. And I'm pretty sure that's when I started trying to smoke again because I had a pipe. Yeah, I set up a little fan and blew it out my window. And then you came into my room and you were like, it smells like weed in here. And I was like, well, I thought I got it out with the fan.
Right.
Thought I was so clever.
Okay.
And then, yeah, my first few times I didn't feel anything. And I was like, I guess I'm just one of the people who...
Right, yeah.
But then the first time I felt something, I was like, oh my God. I was like in another world. Do you remember the night? This has been a half hour of just us talking about weed. We're the worst.
We're at 22 minutes. It's
Yeah.
all right, though.
So, do you remember the night? All right, I'm just gonna tell the story for the listeners.
All right, yeah.
I'm not gonna say do you remember. I'm just gonna tell them. So I've been smoking weed at this point. It's after high school, and I wanted to try some edibles. And so I knew this guy, and so I knew this guy, and I just bought a shit ton of edibles. I don't even know. I bought like 3 Rice Krispies, huge, not like the Rice Krispies you buy, like 3 times that size. And lollipops, and I don't even know. And then, so, me and you were home alone. Or you were over at this point, I don't know. But, and I went in my room, and I didn't tell you that I had them. I don't know why. And I just ate a whole Rice Krispie, because I didn't know that you're not supposed to eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I had, like, a total... We watched George Carlin, and I had a total panic attack. Do you remember this?
I do, because you went to bed.
for
And
a
that's when
second.
you ate.
I hit the floor. I didn't hit the floor. I hit the bed. And right when I hit the bed, I thought I was in outer space. And I was
Right.
like, I need to tell Albert because I'm having a panic attack.
Right. But
And I came out.
You didn't, and it's fine. Like, you didn't mention that you had it.
Yeah.
And you just went to bed and then you ate it.
No, I ate it before I went to bed.
Oh.
Then I came back out. We watched George Carlin. I said, I'm going to go to bed because I'm freaking out. Didn't say that to you, but I was like, I should just go to bed and maybe I'll just go to sleep.
We watched Carlin after you came out, though.
Nah.
See, this is what I remember. You went and you ate it.
Yeah, and I
Right.
came back out in George Carlin.
You came back out and you were freaking out.
No, we watched George Carlin before I freaked out. Because I remember I was laughing. How can you laugh and freak out?
Okay. Then you came back out then.
Yeah. That's what I
And
said.
you continued to watch Carlin.
Then I came back out and I was like, hey.
Yeah, okay. That's right. All right. I forgot that we watched Carlin before. Because I remember you were freaking out. And
You say freaking out like I was like freaking out, thrashing around. I wasn't freaking I was quietly freaking.
All right. You came out and you explained to me what happened. And I remember, like, I was like grandma.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, don't worry, child. Sid, watch some Carlin. You'll
Have
feel
some
better.
water.
Like, I was pumping you full of water.
Yeah.
And did you end up, like, were you relaxed enough that you went back to bed?
Yeah. Anyway. I think that's a lot of weed talk that we...
So did you have anything else that...
No more weed stories that I have. I mean,
Right.
we can keep talking about it, but I just don't have any.
I don't really...
Just panic. The last time I did an edible, I thought I was a cartoon. And I was like...
What kind of cartoon?
Just,
like a rubber
I
hose?
was... No, I just...
That's what I think.
You think I'm a rubber hose? What do you mean rubber hose?
Rubber hose style cartoons. That's like Betty Boop, original Betty
okay,
Boops
okay.
and all that.
I guess I
Because
should
their
know that.
arms, they don't bend
Oh,
on right angles.
They look like the guys outside of car dealerships. Been like that, yeah? You know those guys outside the car dealerships waving up, they're freaking out.
They are freaking out.
That's the definition of, you look like one of those, you're freaking. That's the definition. You know you're freaking. You know if you're, you know you're freaking.
They are freaking out.
I'm gonna bust.
So you were in New York. You could. It doesn't matter.
It's gonna be funny.
So you were in New York
Yeah.
when everything hit. I don't want to get serious, but
No, it's okay. Let's get serious.
um,
Yeah.
and you got out of there.
Well, I stayed for a few months because
How was
in the
it?
beginning,
We're talking about Corona.
we're talking about Rona.
Yeah.
So in the
Big
beginning,
C.
no, not that big.
I take it back.
Not the big C. We're not talking about the big C. We're talking about. I mean, that's a pretty big C, Corona.
It is, but could it be the medium C
No,
or like?
it's just not this. It doesn't. We can't.
All right, go ahead.
I'm trying to open this. I can't.
Give me.
Because when everything started to shut down, like right before restaurants did, that's when I got laid off because my day job is restaurant industry.
Yeah.
So we all thought it was gonna be like 2 weeks. Like, all right, a 2-week shutdown. We'd come back after the 2 weeks, and it'll be fine. That's what the narrative was until that it was a Monday, and Trump was on giving one of his conferences speeches that they would do every day, and he let the cat out of the bag that he said, oh, this is going to be until July or August, when everyone wasn't saying that yet, I feel like. And I was like, look at this guy. Either he's so stupid, he's given us this timeline that's way too long, right? Or he wasn't supposed to say that, because no one was saying that.
Yeah, no.
And it turns out I mean, it's going to go on longer probably than July or August.
Right, but I feel like, being the president, somebody probably said, yeah, there's probably going to be this. He's like, well, I'm just going to tell him that.
Well, yeah, so I just stayed for like 3 months and had a good time with my roommates and stuff, but it was like I needed to like move around more because I wasn't moving my body. I wasn't going outside.
Right.
Because I would go to the park, but then it started getting crowded. And also, it's just like, yeah. So now I'm in Pennsylvania for a
Home.
few weeks. Home.
The motherland.
I'm in the motherland. So yeah.
But yeah, no, and then you left, and then everybody started protesting. That's the effect.
Right when I left,
That's
I
the
left.
effect that you have.
Yeah.
You left, and there was like,
And
no.
then it was like, oh, wait. Which I felt bad I wasn't there for the protest.
Would you have gone?
Yeah. I would have, but, you know, just has got me thinking about firefighters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dad was a firefighter, New York City, you know.
FDNY?
FDNY, Ladder 80.
It was Coney Island and Staten Island.
Yeah. Just a couple islands he was on.
Yeah.
I keep clearing my throat, but. So he's taught us a lot of lessons of like what not to do.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest ones for me, I want to know what the biggest one for you is.
Okay, now this is good.
The biggest piece of advice that he has given me, not in general, but to prevent fires.
Yeah.
In that category was always, 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 and this goes for everyone out there too. If you don't know this, you gotta know this. Always, always clean out the lint trap in your dryer.
Yes.
That's like the biggest. Is that your biggest as well?
I don't think it's my biggest, but it is up there.
Okay, what's your biggest then?
My biggest, you know what with me is that for whatever reason I'm lazy about this. But Dad in my head makes me get over that hump, but checking the batteries in the smoke detector. It's very
There's a beep that tells you when to do that.
not on all of them, but even Gabby, up until this pandemic, my smoke detector wasn't even up there.
Yeah.
It started beeping one day,
And you just ripped
and
it out.
I was like,
What?
"Screw you!" And I just took it out, and I was like, "I'll get to it," and I never got to it. But now there is a battery in there now. Mm-hmm. But that's a big one. But another thing that I always think about is unplugging things.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember many a time, unplug the coffee pot. Did you unplug the coffee pot?
When you leave.
We would turn around
Because you didn't unplug something.
because something didn't get unplugged. We would, if we were going to Boopies or something,
Yeah.
we would turn around and unplug things.
I feel like that doesn't happen as
But
much.
that's something that I always do.
Mm-hmm.
I unplug everything before I leave the house, especially big things. A lamp, not so much. The toaster oven, the air conditioner, I'm popping the plugs out. Because another time, when the record store near me, I just thought of this the other day too, but it's pertinent. The record store near me got a big influx of old blues records and old jazz records.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there and I bought a bunch of records.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl's ringing me up, and I liked her, and we were friends. But for whatever reason, I don't know why, she had a hair up her ass, and she says to me, she goes to me, "Boy, these are nice records." It's like she turned into like mafia all of a sudden.
Hey.
She goes, "You know, it'd be a shame if she goes, "It'd be a real shame if something would happen to your apartment with all these records in them."
Wow.
Do you have renter's insurance?
That was so weird.
And it freaked me out. It freaked me out. That night, my friend had to talk me down because it was freaking me out.
That she said it, or because she's right? I mean, honestly.
Because she's right, but it was
Also because she
but
said
also because she said it. And here's this bubbly little girl who all of a sudden turned to Al Capone
Yeah.
behind the counter. And he's like, it'd be a shame if something would happen to this nice records you got here. You know, it was weird. But that, like, I was unplugging everything after that.
I have a smoke detector story.
Okay.
But I don't know if I told you, but during quarantine in my apartment in Brooklyn, I usually have 4 roommates, but the 2 of them had gone home, you know, because of everything. So there was 2 of us left, and then there were 2, right? So that was the way it was for...
The cheese stands alone.
The cheese stands
The
alone.
farmer in the dome.
The cheese stands alone?
The cheese stands alone.
I've never heard this.
That nursery rhyme used to scare me as a kid. I don't want to interrupt your story, though.
I mean, I could continue the story. What's this
You ever
cheese?
heard The Farmer in the Dell?
No.
The Farmer in the Dell.
The farmer in the dell. Hi-ho.
And then
Okay.
there's all these people
Yeah.
and animals and
Oh,
crap.
and you say, and the barber
and
and,
at one
the
by
tree.
one, they all come and they all leave.
Okay, yeah.
And in the end, it's just this block of cheese. And I envision it. just this block of cheese sitting there by itself.
Yeah.
And that nursery rhyme scared me because this is sad, actually. It scared me because I didn't want to be the cheese.
Oh, wow.
But it like frightened me. But
tell me what the words were at that point.
I don't know.
The cheese stands alone.
The cheese stands alone. That was the end of the song. It was this damn cheese sitting there by itself. And the cheese stood alone. I was like,
I wonder why the cheese. I feel like someone in your life has just made up those words. That's no way. All right, how about this for the listeners? If you know this, send Albert an email, please.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Because I don't know the words.
And then we could see if anyone's heard cheese stands alone.
I don't think they did make that up.
Oh, make it up.
All right.
We'll see.
Continue your story, though.
Okay, so our kitchen smoke detector.
This is here.
This is in Brooklyn with my roommate Max, and then there were 2.
Yeah.
Right?
Noah's Ark.
And we were having a good time. Noah's Ark. It'd be funny if me and this kid Max. I wish you met Max, because then it would be. I think
is he the foreigner?
Is he the foreigner?
Is he the foreigner? But he's from.
He's from
place.
Newcastle.
Okay.
He's from Newcastle. He's a good lad, but
I'm sure.
Yeah, you're sure. If you knew who, if you could picture him, I think this would be even funnier.
I seen him on a Zoom.
Oh, okay,
that was
okay.
Him on Zoom.
Yep, that was him on Zoom.
So I seen him.
So you seen him, and you heard him. Okay, so it was just us, and there was, we have a good amount of smoke detectors in every bedroom, in the kitchen, in every bathroom. Okay. We have 2 bathrooms. That's good. Actually, I don't know if it's in the bathroom. I'm not sure.
Never know. Hairdryer,
but our kitchen one started to act up, and it started giving a weird beep, not just a beep, not just one beep. It was like giving this like something was terribly wrong, and so we just kind of ripped it out of the wall. Okay.
Right.
We have all these other ones all around. We don't. Right. It's okay. It's not a big deal. So then I'm sleeping. It's 5 a.m. and Max knocks on my door, and I think something's really wrong, and he's like, Gabby, I can't go to sleep because the smoke detector in our roommate's room keeps going off. And it's been going off for hours, and I've been trying to figure out, trying to get it down, but we don't have, a ladder in our apartment. He's like, but it's been keeping me up all night, and I'm so sorry to wake you up, I just can't go to sleep. And he was still working. And I was like, oh, dude, okay, no problem. So we have really high ceilings and no ladder. So what did we do at 5 a.m.? We took chairs like we're sitting on right now. 2 wooden, more like that one because they weren't foldy, and stacked them on top of each other. Stacked them on top of each other. And I was half asleep, and he was climbing on top of these chairs, and I was holding him, and he ripped them out of that. He ripped the smoke detector out of the one room, and we're like, okay, let's go to bed. We're walking away. We hear another beep. I'm like, where's this other beep coming from now?
Oh man.
So then we were one of the ones out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that had to be the one. And then I'm like, we're going to bed again. And then another beep. And I'm like, where is this coming from? We ripped out 4 in total smoke detectors that night. And we have been lackadaisical about putting them back. We haven't put them, unless he did, but I.
So.
Yeah.
Did you just not find the right one, or were they all like the new ones are now tied together?
That's what I said something to someone. I was like, these smoke detectors, they could be tied together and one sets the other one off. Yeah. And then someone was like, no, that's not a thing. And I was like, well, I don't know. I feel like I know that, and if it's not a thing, it should be.
No, it is.
But
it is.
Yeah.
They have it here.
It could have been that. And that's why I was like, did all the batteries die at 5 a.m. or is there carbon monoxide in our apartment? What's going on?
All I could think of is the episode of Curb when Larry rips the smoke detector out of the wall.
No, I don't know.
And then somebody who smokes in his house comes down and smokes a cigarette.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember this episode.
And they throw the cigarette in the garbage, and the garbage catches fire.
I barely remember this episode.
It was early. I don't really remember it either.
That's a very Larry thing.
I think it was the one where he gets the dirty cake by accident.
Okay. I don't remember. I just don't remember. I remember the cake part.
I still haven't watched the new season of that show.
I saw the season finale. I didn't see any other part.
Oh, so it's over.
Unless I'm thinking of last year's, but I think it's over, Albert.
There's one that just came. Well, it's been out a while.
Yeah, no, that's over.
But last year was the one with who had the fatwa.
Yeah,
that
no,
I
no,
barely
no.
remember.
The new one's over.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know. I want to watch it. I've been meaning to watch it, but I just haven't. I've been promising people I was going to watch it.
To be honest, I don't like the new Curb. It's not the same.
You know what happened to Curb?
Different writers.
Yeah.
Yeah, different writers, and just a different vibe. It's not believable anymore, and it's too. I want to know the word. Too like cutesy, but not cutesy. Cutesy is not the word, but it's just too.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up.
You know what? I feel okay. So season 5 is the last season when Larry was writing everything.
Which is New York season. Is that New York
No.
season? Ooh.
Season 5 is when Richard Lewis needs a kidney.
I already don't like the New York one. Go ahead. New York is when I started losing it. Go ahead.
Season 6, when that's when Leon comes in, Vivica Fox comes in. That's a good season.
That is a good
It
season.
didn't go right down the tubes. It
Yeah.
was slow. I think the last season with the Fatsois was rough. I also think it was bad. I think I need to rewatch it because the person I was watching it with sucked. And they made it worse. They made the viewing experience worse for me.
Okay. Yeah, watch it again.
Yeah. But still, that's what happened. He had writers from Seinfeld come in and help him. And I think Seinfeld took the same trajectory, but not as extreme.
No.
Because there are things later in Seinfeld that you don't think are that late. Like Festivus. Festivus is the
late.
last season.
Yeah, that's late.
Season 9.
So there's still some good stuff.
Right.
Iconic.
Seinfeld didn't take as much of a dive. But I feel
Until
like...
the very last episode. It took
Yeah.
a nosedive.
No.
That's a nose.
It's terrible.
It went backwards. It didn't even nosedive.
How anybody could
Let
think that was
out.
good. I try to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, and it's to me it's palatable until the whole court thing.
It's not even.
It's just
It's not
like
even.
what would you guys like? I don't know.
Whenever they travel out of New York, I hate it. Like the episodes where Kramer's in California and they go after him, which is long before
Yeah,
it started getting
that
weird.
was the beginning.
I just don't like. I don't like when they leave New York. Just stay in New York. There's plenty to do here. There's plenty of storylines.
Okay, what about though? Bubble Boy. Bubble Boy was out of New York.
It's upstate.
Okay, so you mean leave the state?
I mean, but the upstate episodes, New York, when the cabin burns down, all those are fun.
Yeah. Okay.
The one with the lobster, all those are fun. Like, let's go.
Yeah, that's
to...
the Hamptons. Yeah.
Oh, Hamptons. Sorry, Hamptons. What did I just say? Hamptons.
Hamptons.
Hamptons. What accent is that? Does anyone comment on that you have a New York accent? Or have you lost it?
People comment on it, but they comment on it that they like it, and
Yeah, okay.
people will rib me about it, but that's it.
Okay.
You know what happens though?
What?
The word that gets me into most trouble
Yeah.
when I let it slip out.
Yeah.
2 words that get me in the most trouble, and not bad trouble, but just it gives it away. Is window.
Window.
When I don't say window,
Yeah.
I say window, or if I say wires. I drop the R on wires.
You just say
I say
wires.
and I don't think about it. And I'm like, God damn it, just give me them wires over there.
Yeah.
And they we're just
That's a funny thing. Yeah. Windows and wires.
That's
That should be a name of something. Windows and wires.
That'd be a good handyman store.
Yeah. Windows and wires.
But yeah, the accent doesn't get me in trouble too much. People tend to like it, but it has given me away.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you like? I mean, you were born up here, but you lived around. You grew up around it.
Around the accent, yeah.
Around Dad and your mom and Dominique has it.
Well, I would say that I guess people might have used to say it, but not recently. And not only did I get like, oh, you say that thing funny sometimes from outsiders in my own home because I'm being raised in Pennsylvania, even though my whole family, my sisters, my brothers, my sister, I have one sister, I think. My sister, my brothers, right?
Yeah.
The parents, and then you go see any other family, it's 20 times more than that, right? Yeah. So, not only am I getting from the outside, I'm getting raised, I'm learning the colors, I'm learning numbers, I'm learning the alphabet, I'm learning animal names in Pennsylvania, right? I come home and I say some things, and the family would be like, you say that thing like a real Pennsylvanian, and this was one word I remember. Was orange. I used to say orange because that's how I was taught in school.
Right.
And I just remember, I think it was Dominique, my sister, saying, "Oh my God, you say that so weird. Oh,
Right.
that's so weird. You say it like that." And I was like, okay, orange, orange,
You're
orange.
practicing it.
And so now I say orange.
Yeah.
Also Florida instead of Florida.
Okay.
I used to say Florida, and now I'm like Florida.
R's are hard up here.
Can I say
the Pocono
something?
accent's weird.
O-R, like orange,
Yeah.
Florida, are, if you say it like that, I feel like it's more uncomfortable to say it like that than Florida's easier to me.
Oh yeah, no, it is
Orange.
more
Orange.
Yeah.
Right?
orange.
Orange. That's how I was taught orange.
It's like, yeah.
Orange. Can we talk about the accent? This is
Yeah,
something
let's
that's
talk about
bothered
it.
me
All right.
for a long time. And if any listeners have any opinions, I would love to hear about it. Right, Albert? Right, Albert. Not Right, Albert?
Yeah.
W-R-I-T-E. Right, Albert. But in Goodfellas, right? I'm going in the direction of Goodfellas, and also point out, wow, your hair's really short. It's the first time he just took his hat
I
off. It's
buzzed
buzzed. Can I see it again? Can you do that?
I buzzed it.
Wowee, Albert.
Because I buzzed it the first time.
That was too long?
No, it wasn't. It was perfect. But I was going to bring Dad his clippers back.
And you knew.
And I
gonna be a
didn't
while.
want to, every time I come here, I didn't want to be haggling for the buzzers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go for number 2. So the first one was number 4, and it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, nope, number 2, lawnmower. And it was even shorter than this.
Can I see it again?
Like the last time I came
Oh
here,
my God, Albert.
last time I came here, notice when I came to do the phones, I didn't take my hat off because I was scalped.
You should have taken your
So
hat
it's
off.
been another week, and it's a little bit longer. But I could see my head last time. I was like, I don't
Oh,
like this.
no.
I can see my head.
Wow.
But yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so Goodfellas. And I was going to say, not only am I growing up in a house full of New Yorkers learning this accent, I'm also watching all these
Watch those
mafia
movies over and over again.
over and over. Any Robert De Niro, any Pesci.
Godfather. Yeah.
The Godfather, and then The
Casino.
Sopranos, Casino, literally
I
anything.
I wasn't allowed to watch The Sopranos.
I don't know.
If we were to put our lives parallel.
Well, you
were
99, you were 9 when it
Yeah.
started. I was a little, and it ended in 2006. So like by the time I was older, it was reruns, and they probably didn't care as much.
Okay.
Maybe they even forgot how. I'm surprised you weren't allowed to. I feel like we were allowed to watch whatever we wanted, and not
Here,
really.
My mother, though, had a hang up on things. And Sopranos, I was barely allowed on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Because she just considered it was just a box of porn to her that you could email on.
Yeah.
And that's so we had this computer that her boyfriend got that fell off the back of a truck.
Oh.
It was like cutting
And it
edge
was
at the
okay?
time. Oh yeah.
And it fell off the back of a
Cutting
truck?
edge. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Thought that would go over better. All right, anyway, go ahead.
No, it was cutting edge. Had a flat screen monitor when everybody had tubes.
Yeah.
It was slick.
Anyway, so Goodfellas, right? Back to the accent thing. There's something I want to talk about. I need to talk about. Is that Henry Hill's, what's his name? Ray Liotta's character, Henry Hill. He plays his character, and you hear New York accent all around. But specifically his character, would certain words, cut that the fuck out. Certain words. I'm kidding, I guess you can keep it, but I sound like a dummy. Okay. But certain words, he would overpronounce the R's. Which you'd think New York drop all the R's and have the A's, like window.
I think it depends on where the R is.
On where? Depends on where he would, I like liquor. He would definitely say liquor. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I guess that went nowhere. What are you looking at?
Hold on, we don't have any juice.
Oh, go get some juice.
What was it?
I lost that.
Ray Liotta.
Goodfellas.
R.
I don't know. His accent's funny and I like it. But I'm just saying.
You see those Chantix commercials he does now?
I think it's been a while since he's even done them.
Okay, maybe I feel like
I feel like he's only in Goodfellas to me. Like he's not
he was
anyone
in-
else.
I know you don't watch this show too, but he was in an episode of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Are you kidding me? Was he funny?
He was he plays like the owner of a bodega.
Does he have an accent?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it the same as Henry Hill's?
I feel like it is. It's the same. I think that's his accent. Because he had the accent in the Chantix commercials, too.
You don't think he changed his accent a little bit? I think it was Queens they were from.
Maybe. It's been a while since I've seen those movies. I gotta watch them again.
No, not the Bronx. I think it was Queens.
I had this idea in the beginning of the pandemic that I was gonna go through all the Jurassic Parks. I haven't done it.
I wonder if I was gonna do that with something. I finished Game of Thrones during quarantine.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Which no. Well, I started way before. I started like January for the first time ever watching Game of Thrones, and it took over my life for a bit. And I was like, I need to take a break from this.
That's what it does.
And
to people I know.
You've never watched it?
No.
Well, I took a break for a while and then quarantine started. I'm like, now's the perfect time because it took over my life, and it ended like shit. I guess, I'm sure anyone who's listening who's seen it, it's shit.
Yeah, I didn't.
It's shit.
I'm on a slippery slope right now with a TV show.
Which one?
So there's this show. This isn't it, but there's a show on Netflix where there's a spooky chick. I forget her name. I have her on Instagram. She's this like a spooky like Betty Page kind of chick who bakes. She does a lot of things. She's an artist. She makes costumes, but she also bakes these crazy cakes, huge like houses and stuff. And she had this run of episodes, 6 episodes, and I was watching that. I watched it over Mike's house, and then when you watch that show, Netflix starts recommending things to you. And I had recently heard this comedy bit Tracy Morgan did about an old Star Trek episode. So I'm like, I'm gonna watch that episode and see what this bit's about, because I didn't get the bit. I watched the episode, I get the bit, but I enjoyed it. So I watched a few more, and now I'm on this kick. Like, am I gonna start watching Star Trek now? The old ones, not the new crap.
No.
The old ones with
Spock.
With Spock, and with the original crew, William Shatner. Yeah. Leonard Nimoy.
If you
George
watched
Takei.
more than one, and not just like flicking through the TV, like you put them on more than one.
I let it ride. I just let it ride.
You're watching Star Trek. You're a Star Trek watcher.
You know what it is? Watcher. So like, I've seen a lot of like space movies recently for some reason. Mike's been on a space kick, and I watched the new Cloverfield movie with him.
Oh yeah.
I watched some other space movie with Samuel Jackson in it. Then we watched Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne. They're on a spaceship. Event Horizon.
Okay.
I didn't like that movie. Disturbed me. I liked it, but it disturbed me. But my point, I'm watching all these space movies, and they're very gray. It's very metal. There's like grays and blues and blacks.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just that's all the colors. It's just those. And I'm watching Star Trek, and it's 70s, and everything's rainbow. Everyone's got a different, Spock is in blue, Captain Kirk is in green, Uhura is in red.
Wow, you know.
And everything is like, I know. Well, I knew the names because this was another thing, the Drew Carey show. There were Star Trek references all the time that I never got. So I'm watching Star Trek now, and I'm getting all these jokes from the Drew Carey show, which is part of like, oh, I get that now.
Yeah.
So... but it's crazy, and like the 70s were nuts, and there were colors, and that's what I appreciate about it. It's just wacky, off the wall. I never know what the hell's going on until the end.
Right.
The last episode I watched, they land on this planet, and there's this beautiful woman, and if she touches you, she kills you. And she goes up to a guy, and she's like, I must touch you, we're meant to be. And she's very pretty, so the guys, they like her. She's like, sure, touch me. And she touches her on the shoulder, and they turn to space dust. And then she tries to touch Captain Kirk, and he's like, no.
Well, I wish it would make more of a statement, I think, if she didn't have to go and try and like be like, I need to touch you. Yeah. She didn't have to go fishing for him. And she doesn't. I don't think she would. Just guys want to touch her, and she's like, you can, but maybe you shouldn't. And they're like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she touches them, and then that happens.
Right.
Not her going after people. It's kind of like she's going after.
No, but at the end she's a hologram, so it doesn't matter.
So then how does she space test everyone?
If I have to, it's hard to explain it.
Sounds like an easy
It's
out.
a
Oh, she's just a hologram.
No, it's a planet, and everybody started to die on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
So they built a computer.
Oh.
That's a big square.
Okay.
And this computer would create holograms to defend the planet.
Aww.
And depending on, this computer was so damn smart, depending on who was coming to this planet, some Trekkie is gonna write me and tell me how wrong I am. Anybody who comes to this planet, this computer pumps out a hologram that will work to defend the planet against that specific person. Mm-hmm. So you got all these space guys marching off the command ship, and because they're men, it's like, okay, pump out a pretty girl, and that's what it did.
Now here's a question: the planet has a mind of its own and did that, or the people?
The computer does.
No, decided to make holograms.
Yeah.
The planet decided, or the people on the planet?
The computer.
No, who decided to make the computer that did the holograms? The people on the planet.
Oh yeah, the people.
Okay, see, you're saying it like I'm thinking the planet has that much power that he.
Oh yeah, the
planet has a gender that he.
The people made the computer. The people said, "We're screwed. We're gonna die."
Okay.
But this is a nice place. We don't want it to be ruined.
Okay, I was thinking the planet had a voice.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Planet Shivers podcast. You can find this episode and all the other episodes on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, the podcast app, and the Albert Shivers YouTube channel. You could find more of my work and follow what I'm up to on Instagram at Albert Shivers. We're going to have part 2 of me sitting down with Gabby coming out soon. Hope you enjoyed this episode on behalf of me and Gabby. And yes, I'll talk to you next week.